Take that off. Why my thing feel like it's crooked? Blessings, blessings, and grand risings, everyone. Sorry for my delay this morning. Welcome, welcome to Miss Grace in the mornings. Do apologize for my delay. You know, I usually come on at 8 a.m., but today I had to do some stuff, get myself together. With that being said, blessings to everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Wait for a few people to come in. You know what we're going to be talking about today. Trump is trying to declare American citizens terrorists, some way, somehow, some way, somehow. Okay, and we're going to talk about the many some ways, somehow that Trump is trying to declare American citizens terrorists. So, you know, we talked about what was going on in Chicago. We will be following up on what's going on in Chicago Sunday. We got some good details for you guys. Um, and we're going to talk about the law. We're going to talk about, do Trump actually have the right to go into Chicago? These are some of the things that we want to highlight here. All right, so let's start talking about. I have my lineup, had everything together. We're going to start talking about right now. Do Trump have the power to go into Chicago? Now, we got to do a little flashback, all right? A couple of weeks ago, you know, or 2, 3 weeks ago, Trump invaded Portland. Domino's best deal ever is back. He invaded Portland. With that being said, there was a ruling that Trump could not bring the National Guards into Portland. So right now, we're going to look at that, but we're also going to look at what happened in the last couple of hours where they declared Trump invasion into Chicago a warrantless, you know, invasion, as well as the arrest that he made out there in Chicago was unlawful. So let's watch this because we already know what we saw was ridiculous. But now, you know, all roads leads to court, so we're starting to see some outcome. So let's check out this ABC News article while people come into the chat. Good morning, good morning. Sorry for my delay. God be the glory. I hope you guys are doing well. You know what we do here in the mornings. We don't only look at drama, but we actually talk about it from a critical perspective. So get in here, get in the chat, as we say, put respect on everybody's name, and let's get this conversation started. We got a few things to talk about this morning.
The ruling finding ICE is conducting illegal arrests in violation of a consent decree that limits warrantless arrests in the Chicago area of responsibility. That includes Illinois and 5 neighboring states. Collateral arrests, or people arrested while ICE is out patrolling the city, have been a major part of Operation Midway Blitz, and now a federal judge has imposed new restrictions on agents. Attorneys with the National Immigrant Justice Center in Chicago say the number of warrantless arrests in just the past 2 weeks have skyrocketed. Their case against ICE, starting with 26 people, now up to at least 200.
What we have seen now on a much larger scale is federal agents indiscriminately stopping and arresting individuals without warrants.
A family scooped up at the bean late last month.
Now, wasn't we just talking about this when they were arresting the whole building? Exactly what I said. If they had a warrant for 5 people allegedly, they should have went straight to those people. They can't arrest a whole building or just pull people over with no suspicion or anything. Also, we highlighted ICE's power. ICE have no power to arrest U.S. citizens. Their power only comes from the immigration law. Okay, so let's finish watch this because it's coming to you. Some of the things that we have been talking about and the chat as well. I love you guys. Thank you for being here and understanding a little bit of law. I know a lot of people deal with their feelings, and we do too, in their perspective. But we have to really pay attention to, you know, what's law for everyone, and what they're doing is not right at all.
Warrantless arrest during a raid at a home in Elgin, with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem present, posting this video on social media.
He actually had his work permit to be working here legally.
A LIENS father, Abella Roscoe, picked up earlier this year. ICE reports reviewed by the I-team confirming agents did not have a warrant. instead creating one after taking him into custody.
My father was the main breadwinner of the family, so having him gone, it's hard.
All examples of what U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Cummings ruled is an ongoing pattern of ICE violating the terms of the consent decree. NIJC attorneys successfully arguing agents produced no warrants, civil or criminal, for the arrests. Cummings taking particular issue with instructions to ICE agents to carry blank I-200 forms, civil immigration warrants, on their person in the field to fill them out on the spot, calling ICE's arguments it can do so lawfully meritless.
Nope.
If they made a
Thank you. They cannot do so lawfully. They have no power over arresting citizens. Now, shout out to everyone in the audience. As we say, come in respectful. We want to hear everything you have to say. Truck Game said, this is just part of the job. Nothing personal. Sling Blade said, it is despicable. And I do want to clarify, it's not part of ICE's job just to round up everybody that surround the area of the person they may be pursuing. We're noticing that they're just pursuing people just because they're brown. The gentleman that got shot the other day that we talked about in Chicago, and we'll be following up on Sunday, we saw the video. We saw exactly what happened as the ICE officer lied and said he was dragged. And he had no reason to pull that gentleman over. He was dropping off his kids. So at first I thought it was a warrant. And, you know, I questioned why he just didn't go to the place of his business, of his home, and not do it in this manner. It was because they're racially profiling, as you guys are saying, and it's coming to hue that they have no legal standing no matter what. That's just like if we're all around a crime scene or something happened and they can't tell us to stop to be witness if we choose to as well. And sometimes they can force us to be witness depending on the situation, but they at no time have the right to put us in handcuffs because we're around the area, detain us, hold us for hours. So in the same instant, ICE doesn't have that authority, even though they have no authority just to do that to citizens. They are not cops. They are not cops. So we did highlight where they get their power from, and it's not from the Constitution. So if you guys believe in the Constitution and you like what ICE is doing, that's kind of like a contradiction. I'm just keeping it real.
a warrantless arrest, they need to justify and document the specific information.
Under the federal consent decree with ICE, to arrest someone with or without a warrant, ICE agents are required to meet two criteria. Is there probable cause to believe someone is in the U.S. illegally, and are they also a flight risk? ABC 7 Chief Legal Analyst Gil Sofer says the government is likely to appeal the ruling.
Well, we'll see if it changes operations on the ground. He's certainly sending a shot across the bow, and that, if it's going to be abided by, that's going to, that's going to slow things down and really impose rigor around the process.
Immigrant advocates intensely emotional over the result.
To our black and brown people and immigrants, it does not always seem to be that this earth wants us, but we want us, and that can be enough.
Oh, baby.
And the department.
Girl, I know how she feel, but people not like me, so numb, but I just talked about how it feel to be black. We know y'all don't like us. We're not going down that road. Oh, she made me feel sad. But the thing that they highlighted here is not only that they have to have probable cause, not just seeing somebody brown, but maybe have a track on that person, like their actual immigration status is illegal. But the second level to this tier within this ruling is that they have to be a flight risk. Please understand that people go into illegal status because of missing paperwork or maybe missing an appointment or something happened with people who actually did it correctly. So they have to determine, is that person a flight risk? Do they work? Are they stable? What's going on? Did they ever get arrested? These type of things, because those people have rights. They have gained the rights that we have gained when we're here. And that's the same determination a normal court will make with us if we go in to determine if we're a flight risk. They're not just going to hold us. Like I said, if they do that, we're all going to be in deep doo-doo. They just have the right to just hold us. We have a job. We have things that we have to do. So if we're not a flight risk and we are actually productive citizens, you know how much damage that can do? And that's what is happening to them. So like I said, all immigrants are not, migrants are not illegals, and we have to keep that in mind. Okay, because y'all know I'm a second generation, so I have to keep it real. I support deportation because I did not like what I saw under Biden. It was scary. It was oceans of people coming in here. But realistically, humanity comes first. Now, we're going to move on or do a little flashback. Now, you remember with the Portland invasion, the judge had blocked Trump from sending troops to California, and that's what we're going to look at. And this directly kind of go into what's going on there. She blocked them from going into Portland because in her ruling, she said that there was basically no probable cause to send National Guard into Portland. So you don't have the right to bring them into Portland, because what he wanted to do was send the Portland National Guard into Portland. So what he ended up doing was trying to circumvent the judge's order, being slick, and send California National Guard into Portland because they were already nationalized. So I'm going to put the video at the bottom because there was another content creator who broke it down really good. It was a lawyer. I forgot his name. I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. But the judge was not happy with what went on because it was like, you violated our order. So he wants to do the same thing in Chicago. So let's just watch this. So I want you guys to see the connections, because we can't just watch headlines and kind of forget what goes on, because this is all is going to lead to what's going on now. Now, I'm not going to play the video because BBC be acting up. The U.S. federal, they do. The U.S. federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump administration from deploying National Guard troops from Texas to California to Portland, Oregon. So this same judge is like, you can't do this here. All right. So this is going to kind of weigh on what Trump may try to do in Chicago. But as of a couple of hours ago, it looks like he's still trying to send them in there. Like, he's just defying separation of powers. Do you guys know what separation of powers is? If you do, put it in the chat, because this is what we're losing now, the ability to have a check and balance systems between our government. So the decision late on Sunday came after the same court denied Trump attempts to deploy Oregon's own National Guard members to Portland. Portland is the latest Democrat-led city target as part of the president's attempt to address what he says is out-of-control crime aimed protesters over his administration immigration enforcement. Trump has no authority to deploy National Guard troops to other states or to Chicago. He does not. So I want you guys to kind of keep that in mind. I'm going to put that breakdown of the lawyer's interpretation, and he actually read the judge's order, and the judge is pretty aggravated with them. So if he goes into California, it's going to get ugly. Now, another thing that we got to keep in mind is that Trump is trying to push the Supreme Court to make decisions. Every time these things go to the Supreme Court, it seems like they're trying to push it down because they don't want to have nothing to do with it for some apparent reason. I don't know the why behind that, but the pressure is starting to go on the Supreme Court as well. Now, I think, hold on, before I show y'all another clip, let me just make sure that, because I got my lineup, baby, we're going to get to it. I got my lineup. So Donald Trump is launching a naked attack against freedom of speech. Now, let's listen to this. This was about 2 weeks ago. We saw this coming. I don't know who this congressman, Senator Chuck Schumer, is who it is. Let's listen to him and what he has to say, because a few of them try to warn us, and we saw it coming.
When Donald Trump says the FCC should consider revoking licenses of networks with shows and hosts who are against me and who give me only bad publicity, he is talking about a dictatorship. That's what dictatorships do. They shut down anyone who has any disagreement with them. But that's what he's threatening to do today through Brendan Carr.
These are the many, now remember, these are the many vices that Trump is using to take our freedom away. This thing is going to come to a hell. So Trump, he already attacked Jimmy Kimmel. Shout out to Jimmy Kimmel, as we stated, back in business. Disney did not want to have no parts to this, even though they have pressure behind them. It got pretty quiet. But I believe if Jimmy Kimmel didn't stand the way he did and get the outcome, this would have been a big cinder block on our freedom of speech. Okay, so now he's starting to expand, restricting freedom of speech related to flag burning. He has directly highlighted the war against Antifa, liberals, left wing, anybody who talk about Charlie Kirk, anybody that talk about him, and also journalists. Do we not know that or remember? So we're kind of putting that all in perspective because it's adding on to the list. Okay, this is not separate, and he is moving to, in my opinion, and other people opinion, I'm thinking they started to notice not only martial law, but he wants to use the Insurrection Act, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. I think we'll talk about that a little bit more on Sunday, but we're going to talk about that today. The Insurrection Act and how he's going to try to use that and what we have as the people to kind of fight back. Okay? I'm going to look at your comments in a second, but I got this kind of laid out, and I want to make sure that I put the heavy stuff out and we get back to your comments. So just bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Okay? Thank you for being here today with Grace Levi. Good morning. Thank you. Sideshow. Hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button if you like the conversation. We keeping it diverse, filled with love, honesty. And you know we ain't no suckers. We calling the shit out. Let's call it out real quick. Now we're gonna see the before and after. This is how he tricked the Trumpsters. This is how he tricked the Trumpsters. Right here with this nonsense. Let's go.
Believe in the freedom of speech. It's not free speech. When you come out and you say it's okay what happened to Charlie, we're firing people. We're seeing people online who are posting hate speech.
Hold on, that's the end. This is the end result.
Shut down.
We have to ask ourselves the questions as leaders. Are we willing to defend people even if we disagree with what they say?
Now, I want you to see this. Now, if you can't see close, I'll put this clip at the bottom. At the top, when you hear the top talking, this is March 3rd, 2025 news. And then we're going to see the mark different at the bottom of 2025 September. So this is what you're seeing, the past versus the present. Let me refresh it so we could hear it from the beginning, okay? In real
I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship.
This is January.
Free speech to America. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Your company paid me
Can we
$16 million
make this bigger?
for a form of hate speech, so maybe they'll have to go after you.
I believe in the freedom of speech. It's not free speech. When you come out and you say it's okay what happened to Charlie, we're firing people. We're seeing people online who are posting hate speech. They should be shut down.
We have to ask ourselves the questions as leaders. Are we willing to defend people even if we disagree with what they say? If you're not willing to do that, I don't think you're fit to lead Europe or the United States of America.
So when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer.
I want you to think for a minute about the decades of abuse that has been heaped upon the good people of this nation. Takes away the right to free speech, the right to political expression.
To all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate, the power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to find you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you've broken the law, to take away your freedom. I will also sign an executive order to...
Yeah, it's a marked difference, okay? Marked difference. He signed the executive order for freedom of speech, and then as we went over the other day, he signs a memorandum for basically restricting our freedom of speech and labeling us terrorism. Shout out to Teddy Bear. I see you in the audience. Hey, Sugar Bear. Hey. Behave. Didn't know we got here. Didn't know we got 3 more years of him. This is bad for middle class and especially poor, below poverty class America. And don't get it messed up too. Let me add on to that statement. This is bad for the elites as well. The people who don't agree with him as well. Oh, this extends. This is bad for other countries as well. Yeah, okay. Let me just move on. Thank you for that statement. Yeah, I was about to get caught up in there. So let's not forget too that Trump said crazy things. I think I have a clip of Trump at his at Charlie Kirk's visual, or maybe I just took a note. At his visual, Trump directly said, Kirk was better than him because Kirk liked to engage with people he didn't agree with and his enemies. He said, but me, I don't. He said, Kirk wished his enemies well. He said, I don't wish my enemies well. I wish them no good. He actually said he hates his enemies. So he has the right to say these type of things as he did before when we had January 6th and that insurrection happened there. Okay, just throwing out dog whistles. You have to pay attention. He's throwing out dog whistles. Okay? He's telling you who he is. And whoever he hates, he's telling his people, yeah, this is who we're going to go after. And, he's also starting to put pressure on social media. We're going to show you that. But let's watch this real quick. Yeah. It's getting there.
Trump couldn't get more obvious about being an authoritarian.
This is
He's not sure about the First Amendment.
David Pacman Show. Everyone who I show y'all, I'm just gonna put in the description. I'm not affiliated with them. I respect commentary, things that I, resonate with, or even if I don't. If it has facts behind it, or we're gonna share it, and then we're gonna give you the link, and you determine if you can follow that person, learn a little bit from them or not. Y'all see, I keep it very diverse here. Okay? Yep.
In the aftermath of the killing of Charlie Kirk, Trump was ranting about protesters. He was blaming them for everything between, violence and hating America. And he was asked, but don't they have a First Amendment right? They're protesting. And Trump says chillingly, dystopianly, terrifyingly, I'm not so sure.
That's a violent radical left group.
And this was shortly after Charlie Kirk's death. You can hear him changing his tone. You said, listen good, you said you are confused and misinformed. Please give me details on what directly you are talking about, because we're bringing up laws, we're bringing up judges' orders. We're kind of just showing a flow of what's going on. I'm a very comprehensive person, so when I bring information, I bring it kind of like in a flow, in a timeline. So you let me know where I'm off, and you let me know if I'm bringing too much personal into it, but at the end of the day, this is my platform, my commentary, but I try to keep it very, like I said, diverse and open. So when you come, please be direct so we can address it properly, okay? Tell me where I'm tripping and misinformed. I'm just, we going through videos here, kind of putting things in order. I don't know. Y'all let me know.
Okay, I got peppered with a lot of comments for doing that. They still have their First Amendment right, though. They're still on their protesting. You've got an amazing team behind.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about the First Amendment, the cornerstone of the Constitution. Even the Second Amendment extremists talk about the First and Second Amendment. And Trump talking about protesters bothering him makes it really clear. It's not only that deaths are more tragic when it's someone loyal to Trump. Trump is also making it clear that speech is more important when it is speech loyal to Trump. But when they don't agree with Trump, it's a problem.
And a woman, in many cases, women, you can see they're professional agitators. I had one the other night. I had 4 the other night, all in one group, total focus.
Let's add women to the list now, okay?
I started to scream when I got into a restaurant, something
Again.
with Palestine.
Not now, again.
I said, well, I'm doing a great job for peace in the Middle East. I should get lots of awards for
Oh
that.
my
right?
God.
The Abraham Accords and everything else. But a woman just stood up and started screaming. And she
Look
got
at his
put out of the
face.
place, too. There were a lot of people in the restaurant. I went there to show how safe, and it was safe. I mean, the woman is just a mouthpiece. All she was a paid agitator.
He can say everything he want to say. He knows nothing about this lady. The people could watch that video and then start stalking her, all types of stuff. Listen, someone said, when I pay attention to black issues and black rage, listen, we're not at rage. It's actually the Caucasian issues. You see how they do me? And I got to talk about white and black. It's actually the Caucasian people who have the white rage right now. And it's causing all of these mass shootings. So we have to to talk about it. And how can I just focus in on black issues when allegedly the population in the United States is much smaller than the population of the Caucasians in the other nations? So because I live in the United States and I'm a United States citizen, yeah, I'm going to pay attention to everything. Again, come in here with respect or you're going to get checked. Okay? Get it together. Let's be adults here. Other people could talk about everything they want to. Remember, chat, but once black people start talking, here we go. Don't talk about that. Yeah, you should do that. Stop trying to regulate everything we do. You shouldn't even be here, okay, if you don't resonate with what we're talking about. If you don't like it, keep it going, okay? And that's why I don't pay attention to the chat a lot, because people say things that's ridiculous, and I have to remind you to remember your humanity and then remember who you talking to. Okay, Miss Grace, I'm a little bit different. This is the Levi squad out here. This is the Levites, okay? Go research what Levites are, the spirit of that within the Bible, because obviously you're probably a Christian, probably faking and not, practice it properly. Go there, figure out who the Levites are, and then you'll figure out the vibe here. We don't play this type of stuff. Okay, the people in my chat, my mods and everything, we're pretty open, loving and everything. But when respect is not there, it's off with your head. So stop. Because people don't really like a lot when I talk about the black and white. But y'all bring it to that. And then I have to really check y'all and have my righteous anger. My righteous black anger. That's not rage. The righteous anger, okay? Hit the like button. Now, moving on. This is how Trump started to change from freedom of speech, executive order. I don't know about freedom of speech, but we hear, wait, pause it, sir. In the middle of him saying that, he started saying reckless, dock somebody. Talking about, yeah, it was a woman, she was raging, yeah, she was paid. He ain't say probably, allegedly, nothing. Freedom of speech for him, nothing for us. Now, this is where we move on, where I'm not into flag burning. I really don't care. I don't understand the significance of black flag burning, but I'm going to be honest. I think that's something towards the Caucasian people. I don't know if I see a lot of people, black people, flag burning during the Black Lives Matter. We didn't do that. That's a more really patriotic thing that I find Caucasian people do, because they be pissed. They be like, fucking America's burning. And they burn the flag. So now he's talking about this being an issue and people possibly serving jail time. But we're going to keep in mind that there were already court cases that highlighted that flag burning is legal and part of freedom of speech. But let's get it.
Flag burning mob, and we've made it 1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. I've never seen anything like it on both sides, and you end up with riots. So we're going on that basis. We're looking at it not from the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts. That flag.
Stop lying. It's a court case. We'll get into it. Yeah, so I don't know. Me, it don't affect me. I don't think our people, we don't do a lot of that. But y'all need to pay attention to that. Someone said if everybody's your neighbor, who's your enemy? I'm not into everybody's that neighbor thing. I think that's a Democratic thing. I mean, we all are neighbors in a way. We live amongst each other. But that doesn't mean that you're my friend. Enemy and neighbor are not antonyms. So I don't say it's either or. My neighbor, right before, I didn't like them because they were still in my water. I didn't hate them. I didn't compare my enemy, but they were my neighbor. They still lived there. They were still there. So that doesn't go together. But to say who's my enemy, if I had to choose any enemy, y'all know what I'm gonna say. I'm a Hebrew woman. Anybody against God, anything the Holy Spirit said is not right. For God hated evil. You know what I'm saying? So anything that I assume that God wouldn't like, I don't like it. That's where I weigh my actions and my words. I'm not perfect, because sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I done messed up. But a lot of people just don't do that. That's why they just wild. So that's what I determine evil on. And it's kind of selective. an enemy, because I choose not to walk with a burden of an enemy. You know, us as black people, I think a lot of us maybe could work with that burden of enemy towards Caucasian people. As I mentioned, I grew up as a Haitian. My grandmother, since a little girl, she stopped now. Please sometimes. Oh, white people are evil. They done no good. They done no good. My whole childhood. And if I embedded that, we wouldn't even be here talking. So I determine who's evil based on what they do, what they say, and how they live. I think a lot of people would get further with that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, with that being said, hit the like button. We're moving and grooving. I'm not gonna hold y'all up a lot this morning, but we got a lot more to show you. Just a little bit more, because Trump is set tripping. We already know that he's defying all separation of powers, and he is literally trying to.
President Trump recently made a surprising admission.
Excuse me. Trying to highlight the use of the Insurrection Act of 1807. He's gonna get there. We're in deep doo-doo. Let's listen to, this is Raw Story TV. I like the way he broke down his commentary related to the flag burning. I think he can say a little bit more than me, because as y'all see, I don't really resonate it because it don't make sense to me why people do that. The protesting is one thing, you know, but I don't really flow with protesting, because I feel like that's just a tokenary move that is to show power, but everything leads to court, paperwork. Like, we could just chill, be at home, and just getting money and banging on them that way. That's what I like. But this makes sense because this actually pushed the narrative that something is wrong. So let's just listen. So that's why I said, let me let him talk, because me,
on the limits of expression in the name of order.
some flags got to go. I mean, I'm not throwing nobody flags, but I don't care.
Made a surprising admission. He said his administration has taken away some freedom of speech rights. During a roundtable with key officials, he mentioned mandatory prison time for inciting riots. Trump argued that burning the American flag agitates crowds and leads to unrest. But remember, the Supreme Court ruled in Texas versus Johnson that flag burning is protected speech. His comments are sparking a new debate on the limits of expression in the name of order. How far is his administration willing to go to restrict our rights? Read the full story on rawstory.com. President Trump.
Okay, so let's listen. I want to talk to you about your comments. Someone said God doesn't prefer a race. He did prefer a nation, and he still prefer a nation. That's why y'all confused about Israel over in the synagogue of Satan. That's why the Christians was following him, because y'all knew in the first half of the Bible that it was a nation that he birthed and chose as his people. So remember that. So if what ended up happening is that original nation was a brown melanated people, because history was rewritten, and now y'all realizing that that's the synagogue of Satan, y'all should be asking who's the real Israel people. Since you want to talk about that, I just had to bring that up in here. It turned into a racial thing, not racial but race, because the true Hebrews who turned into Israel, okay, remember, if you know the breakdown of that, because it was Hebrew into Israel, then into the tribes, okay? And then we were disparted all over the world, which they picked a certain type of people at that time, and they were brown melanated. And God still wants his original branch to be respected, because at the end of the New Testament that you're talking about, it talks about the tribes being the 144 and coming together and calling for God. But not that he don't want a multicolored cloak, because he opened the covenant up to the Gentiles, to everyone, because the Hebrews who mutated to Israelites, and Israel was defiant. But again, when you talk about, y'all say shit like that, y'all make me go to the left. Y'all ain't know I know the Bible too. Get to it, baby. Oh, somebody said this. Federalist Papers say we are a nation of common ancestry. I respect that. I haven't read the Federalist Papers in detail, but I'll check that out. And that's what we are. This is a melting pot. This is not of one nation. And if they want to determine the ancestry of America based on one nation, it has to be indigenously based on brown people. And to go further, it's not just the Aztecs and the Mayans, but it was actually the Phoenicians. Go look that up. And the Phoenicians were dealing with Egypt and trade. Yo, I love history and law and talking and just everything. Let's get it. Let's get it. Opened up. I love it. Go ahead, put that up there so I can talk my off. It ain't even supposed to been this long. Let's move on. Hit the like button if you could understand what I'm saying. If you like the work that I put out here, this conversation, I love talking about so much stuff. Y'all be trying to hit me up in the comments. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. You gotta be well read, okay? And it's not everything, but you gotta be diverse about everything. That's the only way you're gonna survive. So Trump sounds ridiculous in the saying Antifa round table. So I'm not going to play this. I'm going to put this at the bottom because I kind of highlighted a little bit about Antifa. We didn't get deep into Portland, but I think we may do that in detail on Sunday when we talk about Chicago, we talk about Portland, because I was confused too. I was like, why is he in Portland? I know he's going to use the blacks. I know he's going to use the blacks to push his agenda, us, and send the troops into where they flooded the migrants at. But I'm like, why are you in Portland? Then I found out that there's a lot of Antifa in Portland. And I got somebody's home video that's out there. And they were asking, like, is Antifa out here? And the people's like, who's Antifa? No, we're just standing up for our rights. And ICE is not supposed to be there, but they're walking around with Antifa flags. So I have nothing against Antifa. I don't know them. They my neighbors, but not my friends. But we're going to talk about that on Sunday where we break down more what's happening from a legal aspect. In Chicago, does Trump have the power? We already know he doesn't, but we got to talk about it so we can stop all this crazy talk in people's chats. Like, no. Y'all got to come with facts, okay? Y'all going to do it. Shut it down correctly. That's all I'm saying. Because if we keep going with the ridiculous propaganda and things like that, we're done. We're toast. Okay? Hold on. Now, this is just highlighting Trump and Zuckerberg just a little bit. Now, we got to keep our eye on this. It looks like Zuckerberg is back in the hot seat. Now, you know what he went through before. If y'all watched it, y'all remember during, even before the COVID, Zuckerberg was in trouble for selling out information, for restricting people, things like that. And he was in the Senate meeting looking all pale. Was it the Senate or the Congressional meeting? Y'all correct me. He was looking like, that's when I was calling him an alien. I don't care, and that's not a racial thing. Something was wrong with Zuckerberg. Either he was scared or he was an alien. But then I looked at other pictures. I said, damn, his skin been looking like that. Now, I'm going to be honest. As a nurse, this is just commentary. When people use certain drugs in races, because I have to pay attention, Caucasian races look more pale. Their skin get transparent, kind of like an ashy color, like the Zuckerberg. Black people's skin get dark, black. Like I have seen people who had put a before and after when they were on drugs and now. And one lady, I was like, whoa, you like brown skin. How you went from black to that? But these is what I pay attention to. So I'm not trying to say Zuckerberg is on something. But I just wanted y'all to kind of see the level of paleness. He was nervous or something was wrong with him. Let's watch this real quick, okay? I think too much, but you know what it is, y'all. I keep y'all mind going like, what? Go look it up, y'all. Go look up everything I say. Now, this is Zuckerberg with Trump.
Mr. President, you'll be heading to the UK in a few weeks. Yesterday, Nigel Farage.
He said, look, hold on. Look, let me stop and just,
online.
Before we start Zuckerberg, let me just stop one thing and just address one ignorant person. I wish my boss was here. He said, we are not neighbors. You're black. You're black. Bible Trumper. You sound stupid. That's all I wanted to say to you, sir. You got to cut it out. You probably live right next door to them. You ain't got no choice. You got a black person live right next door to you. You probably work next to a black person. We here. We in your face. You brought us here. You stole some of us and you met us here. What the fuck you mean? I'm not your neighbor. Damn, what's wrong with you? You see all this stuff going on and I think that gotta be a bot. Let me just say that's a bot. Let's turn around because y'all know we be having bots. There's no way people are spiritually blinded that much. No matter how much they hear how righteous we speak here and with logic to say that. What's wrong with you, sir? Let's play this. You're not my neighbor.
Mr. President, you'll be heading to the UK in a few weeks.
Yesterday, Nigel Farage was on Capitol Hill. He really was talking a lot about pushing back on censorship online. He was asking politicians like yourself, some of the people in this room, to really push back on that. How concerning is that to you? And Mr. Zuckerberg, if you don't mind answering, how concerning is that to you, the lack of freedom of speech online?
Listen to Zuckerberg.
You didn't think you'd get that question.
Nothing.
He's looking at me and said,
He afraid.
how did I get that question? If you'd like to answer, free speech.
Look at him.
The British government seems to be cracking
He getting nervous. He getting nervous.
down on social media posts, people being arrested for tweets, social posts.
Look, I wish I could see this. I'm gonna put the video at the bottom. Signs and oh, he even got. Oh my God. He got this person there. Y'all see who this is? This motherfucker. I'm mad now. Y'all ain't mad at Trump? Yeah, now. Come on, Trumpsters. Let me take this off of this stand and show y'all who he got. I'm put this video at the bottom. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all not mad at him now? Y'all ain't mad at him now? I'm just mad seeing this. I done forgot we was talking about this person. Look at my baby right here. Look at Zuckerberg. He started tucking on his jacket. Now, these are signs of nervousness. He started swallowing at 45 seconds. When y'all watch this video, because I'm not going to play it again, you're going to see Zuckerberg take 2 deep swallows, start to shuffle on his jacket, get real nervous. Now you can see the sweat on his forehead. Telling you, he's going to start to get pale. This is the signs and symptom of nervousness. But y'all not mad right now? I'm not even going to say nothing because that's not part of the conversation. But y'all see him right there. Go ahead and be spiritually blind. Go ahead. Talking about Trump 2028. We ain't even going to have a 2028. Let's finish play this. Oh, my God. He ruined my day with that guy right there next to him.
Wondering how concerning that is to you, Mr. President, and Mr.
No comment.
The beginning of your political career.
Look at him. He
I will
nervous.
just say that in terms of
Look at him.
the UK, strange things are happening over there. They are cracking down, and surprisingly so. And I've
Look at my
spoken
baby.
to the Prime Minister, and
Gotta see this clip. You gotta see this clip. Zuckerberg nervous as all hell. I think he don't want to have no parts of this political shit after the last time. I'm just being honest. Okay? Swallowing, shirt. I feel bad for my baby. Now, let's watch just a little clip from, we almost done. We don't go longer than an hour. We try not to. Let's share a clip from TYT. He's pissed. Pissed, Young Turks. He's, you know, they go all. And they liberals, right, y'all? Y'all say they're liberal? Because y'all be telling me who is who. And you know, I don't care. This is Trump full speech when he's talking about freedom of speech. We're going to watch that at the end. But this is Young Turks.
I'm sorry.
He's pissed.
Am I being too critical of the president? Okay. Oh, no, I know that's not allowed anymore.
Nope.
That's not allowed anymore from the guy who ran on freedom of speech. So, guys, we are very balanced on policy, but I'm not going to tolerate anyone on the right or the left taking away speech rights, doing authoritarian crap, and then saying, oh, I saw some 2 super questionable dudes who conveniently engraved stuff on their bullets, and because of that, I'm taking away all your rights. No deal. And by the way, Trump should never talk about low IQ people. A moron of epic proportions. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I being too critical?
Yo, he be so mad. Sweat be coming off his head. Shout out to Young Turk, that word. Shout out. Stay on their butt. It is what it is. Excuse me. Am I being too harsh? As Trump says that he hates his enemies and he don't wish well for his enemies. Now we get into our last clip here where y'all gonna listen to Donald Trump say, we took the freedom of speech away, aiming flag burning and protesting. And this is where we're gonna close off, where Trump is even saying, now we're taking your freedom of speech away. Okay? And maybe just before we go, we'll just highlight about the Insurrection Act. Thank you for the person who said, oh, Miss Shanquita, private investigator. Yes, you see, yeah, this is what they do to black people. You got to come up with a name like that. I like that name. Maybe I'll use that and I'll brand it. How about that? They just hate when we doing a good job, don't you? You just don't like it, but you want to use it. That's why y'all can't use my skills anymore. That's why I left the nursing floor in the hospital, because y'all ain't nothing but users. I'm talking about his friends, y'all. I ain't talking about the good people. Let's move on while the devil talk shit. Miss Shanquita is in the building. Put some respect on it. Now let's listen to this outrageous president as he changed and flip flop, and the people still support him, except for us, the logical people who want freedom. You know how that goes.
Lastly, sir, this is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech. But
See,
there's another
see,
reason.
yeah, it is right here. He's actually naming the case. Well, not the case, but he's referring to the case where we already won. It's freedom of speech. But my thing is, what made him go after this? Is a bunch of people burning flags? I haven't seen that. He's just moving the goalposts. He's just moving the goalposts. Now he has no reason. And it's because he have bots and he has supporters that still like, this is good, this is good. Again, until it takes something away that they want to do, or it takes their freedom, or they held by someone who's not supposed to hold them for hours or possibly days without speaking to a lawyer. It doesn't bother them until it's them. You know how it is. You know how kids think. Not me. Sorry, y'all. I don't want to call people kids, but we are. I already said it. A lot of Americans are living in their second childhood. That's why we have the commentary that we have, all down, up and down these platforms. That's why we have the type of social media we have and the things that y'all look for. And that's why we have this president, because we are dealing at an adolescent capacity. I'm going to be honest. You know, I got to jump from certain things, you know, just to, not for y'all, but my old audience. I used to have to really dumb myself down just to keep them interested. So let's step this up. Come on. Let's just ease on down the road.
Perhaps much more important, it's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy.
That's not the truth.
If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You can do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. You can.
No, you can't. I think if you burn anything, people go crazy because there's a fire. We don't want fires. They probably like, what the hell? Yeah, we'll be alarmed when they set trash cans on fire and throw them in riots. People don't like that. But I don't know who's burning flags, y'all. Please tell me.
But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go.
Jesus is a Hebrew, and he was considered allegedly a Jew. The people y'all seeing, because I'm going to answer your comment more, they're Jewish, they're Jew-like, they're converts. Jesus was from the tribe of Judah. Judah was from actually the bloodlines of the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? That bloodline goes far. And then you go back, the 12 tribes of Israel were black. We're black. Someone already in the comments said Jesus black. So, yeah, let's highlight that. I don't know what you're saying, but Jesus is not the same person that those Jewish people in Israel represent. If you know what they actually, because I'm going to the left, but I have to answer you guys because y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. The people who y'all call Israel over there right now, they don't even believe in Jesus. Some of them actually believe that Jesus, what did they do? It was something bad. I gotta remember what they teaching is. They just don't like him. They hate him. They feel like they said that he's burning in hell and he never came out of hell when he died. So they don't believe that he was resurrected. That's the people who the money's going to. So I want y'all to understand they're not Jew, they're Jewish. And that's what they call themselves, Jew-like. Go look that up. So the original Jews, that name migrated from it was Hebrew, then Israel. You remember when Abraham was fighting with the angel and he said, I'm going to call you Israel. I think, no, that was Joseph. Yeah, Joseph was fighting with the angel. Is that him? I was making sure I said the right person. And they said that he changed his name to Israel. So it went from being a Hebrew to Israel. Then it went into Judaism around the time of Christ, because at that time there were Rome The Roman Empire was running everything. They didn't have an official religion, but they kept seeing that Judaism was being followed. So they had to get control over it. That's where you had the Crusades. Got to know the history. In the Crusades, they actually forced people to be Christian because at that time, they took the Jewish people who were converts because before Jesus Christ's time, we were already disparted. The original tribes were disparted when we split up. Do y'all remember when that happened? When Israel went to be, they were Israel and Judah, two tribes, and then they were taken over by Babylon and Assyria. Y'all don't talk the Bible with me. Y'all done got me distracted. Let's save that for a Sunday teaching, because I'm about to go to the left, but they are not the people who you think they are, and they know who they are. They don't believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, which the name is Yeshua, which is from the tribe of Judah, which is black. He's my complexion. And then y'all say, what does it matter? It's just that because y'all gotta love us, y'all gotta heed to us. When y'all realize that the bloodline of who y'all Messiah is us, y'all gonna be shocked. Y'all don't want to believe it. But how do you love someone you hate? This is where we got to get over right now. So because the narrative is out there where y'all starting to realize that's the synagogue of Satan there, maybe we could talk about it, because that's what they censored me for and Kyrie Irving for, and crazy Kanye West for saying, yo, I'm a Hebrew. I'm a Jew. So I'm a little sensitive about that, but when you say they Jews, they Jewish. Okay, and they're one of the people that's been working through the ADL to take our rights away. I didn't want to get totally into the ADL today because it will make it very long, but they have been working hand in hand with the United States and the other platforms to take our freedom away, not just ours, because we've been down. They ain't want us to tell y'all that. They just been coming after y'all, so y'all could just shut up and let the government continue to give the money. But once y'all realize that the synagogue of Satan was there, and they waking up because Charlie Kirk is dead, and somebody possibly did it. I don't know who. Go ask Candace Owens. Now y'all waking up. Y'all throwing little things in the chat. But this is the right place to be, because y'all gonna learn some stuff. So I said a lot. I want to end this broadcast. I love you guys, but let's just finish listening to Trump. And I'm not gonna look at y'all comments no more because y'all distracted me. But y'all know I'm a little historian. Call me Shaquilla or Shaniqua, the historian that loves to talk, okay? And that loves everybody. I have love for my enemy, meaning like, okay, if someone does something to me, I don't want them to die, but it's for as if God has recompense on them and death is there, I'm not going to cry. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just what it is.
So crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry.
Flag burning.
Angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way, did they? Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get.
All right, so that's what Trump said. We're going to finish off with that. If you burn a flag, you get 1 year in prison. So with that being said, I want to say thank you for being here with us. Just a reminder to the new subscribers and the new people who came. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. There is some incentives that's going on with content creators and YouTube. So I do enjoy streaming this way, but we do have streams that's in the studio. And I need you to go check out all the videos that we have done that has been in the studio, as well as the new videos that's coming up that's in the studio, like the one we did last week. But you know what we're doing in the morning? We're here in the kitchen with Grace cooking, looking at our 700 tabs, making sure people stay informed and stay on point. All right. With that being said, thank you for being here, and I appreciate you guys. I got to keep throwing jabs to the little ones in the chat. Hit the like button.